Hi guys, welcome back to my colourful country life. So by now you may have seen my flip through already of the new book by Kerby Rosanes, Alien Worlds, and what is possibly the final book in his Worlds series. But if you haven't, I will link it up above, just in case you prefer to watch a quick flip through without any talking, as this video is going to be my full review. Before we get into the book, I just want to touch on Kerby real quickly. Now, I mentioned that this is possibly the final book in Kerby's World series. So back in September, Kerby did put out a statement saying that as much as he enjoys working with these books, he has decided to take a break to focus on other things for next year. He's not so sure as to when he'll be making a new colouring book, but he hasn't closed the doors to future possibilities. So I just want to say a big thank you to Kerby for all the hours of enjoyment he has given us thus far. I do hope he is back working on colouring books very soon, but in the meantime we do have lots of books we can work on together and catch up and fill up and hopefully complete. Also a big thank you to LOM Art, Kerby's publishers, for sending me a copy of this new book. Okay, so speaking of the book, it is due for release on the 30th of March in the UK and 28th of March in the US, although I have seen some earlier release dates through Amazon. So the cost currently is $27.27 through a book depository, but I did notice that Amazon Australia has the cost at $15.99 and releasing on the 8th of March. So that is a awesome deal, so go check it out. I will put all the purchase links down below as well. Now it is exactly the same size as all the books in the series. We have this beautiful colour gradient on the cover. These are my favourite colours as well. The image is raised and glossy, the same as all of Kerby's other books. I have the UK edition here, which there is two differences in the covers for the US and the UK edition. And that is Kerby's signature and name are in green on the UK edition. I think the US cover, it's blue perhaps. And also we have the Telltale U in colour as well. Now I do have a little book blurb that was given to me, so I'll just read that to you guys. Okay. So it says, journey with the intrepid astronaut who travels from one planet to another on an epic space adventure in Kerby's new colouring book, Alien Worlds. Take a trip to 10 unique planets, brimming with amazing alien creatures and incredible extraterrestrial landscapes, from the water realm where fierce leviathans lurk in the depth of the oceans and the floating world full of stunning flying life forms, to the futuristic planet populated by robotic beings and the desolate ruin where the remnants of an alien civilization survives. It's all there to fill with colour. Pages at the back of the book will provide details of each of Kerby's imaginative creations. I actually love this. We're going to do this a little bit backwards here, but let me show you the astronaut's log in the back of the book. So, oh, here we go. This is the astronaut's log. And it says here, find out more about the amazing alien worlds and awe-inspiring creatures found across the furthest reach of the cosmos. Then we have a short description about each of the pages with a little insight into Kerby's imagination there. Kerby has actually said that this was his most challenging book to produce in terms of creativity and imagination. It really is a very niche subject matter. I honestly never expected to have a colouring book about aliens, but in true Kerby style, he just knocks it out of the park once again. So back to the beginning. Just make sure I'm in frame for you guys. Don't want to cut off any of the pages when I'm flipping. There we go. So our first page here is our title page. Now I wasn't so sure about the black backgrounds. I think I personally would prefer it to be white or even grayscale, so I could have created my own background, my own look, but it does make for a quick page to colour. Okay, next we have the nameplate pages. This looks like an old cassette tape here. So this is the view from the inside of our spaceship looking out into space. Not quite as detailed as we are used to with Kerby nameplate pages, but if you want to, you can bring lots of colour into this page, and not just using metals for spacecraft. You've got all these little screens and all these little buttons that you can bring in some colours. Maybe even some gel pens in here as well. Some gel pens in the background on the stars would be nice. We just have to test them out in the back of your book first. So this is all our publishing information here. We also have a little blurb here which says, discover distant alien worlds in this colouring exploration. Take an interstellar voyage to my high definition super detailed worlds, and they are super detailed, where you'll encounter the most incredible alien creatures in the cosmos. Each intricate illustration has been crafted with fine liner pens and can be coloured in any way you like. For the fascinating stories behind each of these unique worlds and their inhabitants, turn to the astronaut's log at the back of the book. So as we go through, I have printed out the astronaut's log so I can give you a rundown. I won't read the entire thing out, but I'll give you a rundown of each page as we go and flip through it. So this one's a little bit more detailed. Still got the black background here as well. Okay, lots of crystals on our planets here and also on our comets. A little spaceship peeking out at the bottom. Okay, now we have our contents pages. So this seemed like a new concept for Kerby. I can't remember this being in any of his other books. And it could be in the front of World of Colour though. I'm not quite sure. It feels different though. So with our contents pages here, you can see it's been broken down into different realms, different sections. We've got the Lost Paradise, the Floating World, the Water Realm. That sounds like my kind of place. Futuristic Planet, Rocky Barrens, Heavenly Inferno, Crystal Kingdom, Frozen Wastes, Steampunk Sphere, Desolate Ruin, and then we've got the astronaut's log at the back. So I really do like these bottom borders. This is more similar to the types of borders we normally see on the nameplate pages in Kerby's other books. And I make these really bright and colourful as well because it is alien worlds, anything goes. Okay, so we're into our first proper colouring pages and we're into our first section, which is Lost Paradise. And our pages are numbered down the bottom again. So this is pages 8 and 9. And Kerby tells us that this is an unspoilt wilderness, this planet, so not Earth. It is covered in dense forests, towering mountains, and fathomless oceans. All so vast that they dwarf those found on our home planet. And it's protected by a ring of asteroids. Okay, so I colour this oceans, mountains and forests. So lots of blues and greens, maybe some browns for the mountains. I might make this little planet over here Earth, or maybe we can make it its own little moon perhaps. I do either a colourful galaxy sky and keep the asteroids really monochrome in browns or greys, or perhaps black out the background and turn the ring of asteroids into fiery rocks, or make them fluorescent glowy rocks with blues perhaps as well. I wonder if we're flying in to land on this planet. This is the Lost Paradise, so I'm assuming this is where we're off to. Okay, we have pages 10 and 11. This is the luscious landscape. Look at all the fantastic details on this page. Let's just see what Kerby's written about it first. So the surface is teeming with extraordinary life forms, both flora and fauna. Fungi-like beings litter the ground, providing cover for small creatures. The air, tropical, heavy and close, is perfect for plant life and allows herbivores and predators to thrive. So I'd colour these double pages in tropical colours, maybe a blue-green sky with lots of reds, blues, yellows, oranges and purples for our planets and our creatures. Then metallics for the spaceship and our little astronaut guy. I'd possibly use gold or copper to match with the tropical colour palette instead of your typical silvers. The astronaut does feature quite heavily throughout the book. It feels a little bit like a story told in pictures as we follow him or her on their adventures. So you could colour them the same colour on each page if you wanted to. And the more you stare at these pages, the more elements you see. And a lot of the aliens or creatures that you see on the pages, they do repeat throughout the pages. Sometimes they're in backgrounds, sometimes they're hiding in plain sight. As we fly from one place to another, you'll notice the repeating animals. So these pages are super detailed. It's going to take a long time to colour this page, but it just means so much more fun on each page. Looks like there's maybe a water, maybe part of an ocean or something behind this sort of alien elephant, I guess. We've got a little head poking up here. This little creature looks like he's got a plant for a head and a plant for a tail as well. And we've got lots of little eyes hiding around the place. Are they eyes too? Lots of eyes hiding in plants. Okay, so here's a big close-up of our alien elephant. He is called the solar-powered giant. This 20-metre tall creature is a true gentle giant of an alien. The huge leaf-like spikes on its back act as solar panels, giving it energy to clear the pathways through the dense landscape. And it also provides shelter for smaller creatures too. So these leaf-like spikes, I'm picturing green with a deep pink or red stripes, very tropical. We also have these little creatures, which are the same as this little guy poking out here. There's probably more of them hiding on this page that you'll pick out once you start to colour it. So if you spot them on any other pages, you could colour them all matching. So one thing you could do is find all of these creatures throughout the book and colour them all, and then find all of the little elephant aliens and colour them all, colour all your astronauts and come back. You'd have a lot of whips going on, but that's one way to get through the books and get the pages started, I guess. So this little guy here is a favourite of mine, and he is the apex predator with a floral mane for camouflage and 5 eyes that give it exceptional vision. This leonine predator stalks its forest home in search of prey. It's helped by its long antennae, detects subtle vibrations and chemical signatures. Okay, so I can see him coloured the colours of a lion or a cheetah with golden browns. I'd add in some colour to his mane and get his little mane here to match the flowers because he is camouflaging. Maybe similar pinks to the elephant leaf spikes as well, so the pages look cohesive next to each other. As far as the skies go in this book, you go wild with your colours. Who knows what colour the skies are up in this lost planet? Was it Lost Paradise? Okay, so this is called Forest Intelligence. This stationary sentient being is rooted to the ground, quite literally, in the centre of a sprawling forest. It is thought to be thousands of years old, existing to preserve balance in the environment. Its roots send messages underground. And we've got flying plants here that report to it with information. So I'm picturing really rich, vibrant reds for her outfit, which actually looks a little bit like flower petals at the top. And there's some flower petals here. It looks like the top of a skirt, so the roots at the bottom of the skirt and the flower petals are like like the waistband, the belt of the skirt. And we've got all our flying plants. You can make them nice and glowy perhaps as light sources. Lots of different elements here to colour. I'll probably colour the tree trunk first because then you can see what's left, tree trunk and sky, and then see what's left there. We've got more tree trunk here and coming behind her as well. Okay, these look pretty cool. What are these? Flower dwellers. Giant plants with luminous patterns hang from the forest canopy, serving as homes for skittish six-limbed creatures. Okay, and the creatures swing around from vine to vine. Okay, so these plants, it says luminous patterns. So I'd have them with a big bright glow lighting up the aliens in the sky. Maybe with blues. You could also do like a yellow, greeny yellowy glow, but maybe a blue glow reflecting off the little aliens would be nice. Okay, now we are in the floating world. We've flown in here on our little spaceship, and these pages are actually called the floating world as well. So gases so dense they support huge floating islands of rock and stone. Okay, in contrast to its barren twin that looms over the horizon. Is that the barren twin? Perhaps? This heavenly body is host to a remarkable variety of sky-dwelling creatures. Okay, so these gases, these clouds that are everywhere, I'd actually colour these, the colours from the front colour, the purple, the green, the blue, make a nice magical, mystical gradient. I love these little flying dragon creatures as well. And this is supposed to be a barren planet, so I'm guessing if you do purples, blues and greens for the gases, I'd make him possibly, actually, I think I'd make him brown. Just plain old browns. These little floating islands here, these little floating planets, I don't know if I'd make them sort of browns and greens or if I go and colour them like crystals. Not quite sure. Okay, so next page. We've got another double page here. This is the nesting monsters. So these are the dragon-like creatures from the previous page. It says gigantic winged beasts use floating islands high in the atmosphere as nesting grounds for their young. So these are the little babies. Adults can be 150 meters in length to ensure the protection of the next generation. Okay, so we have finally landed on one of our floating islands. There's a lot more gas around as well, so you could use similar colours for the gas as I mentioned for the previous page. And if you did, then I'd colour the dragon or alien, dragon-like alien, I guess, in oranges to make it pop. So you'd have purples, blues and greens for your gas and make him nice and bright and orange. And his babies too, or her babies. Yeah. Okay, so page 20, this is the speed demons. There's a few of them here. Speed demons, and we've got the dragon aliens as well. So the speed demons are the fastest creatures on this planet. They are magnificent two-headed. Oh, I wonder if that's one. So that's got two heads. And I wonder if those two heads equal one animal. I think they do. It just looks close up and that one might be further away. They display elaborate butterfly-like patterns on their wings. And their legs are rarely ever used. Okay, so you could keep the gas colour scheme coming through. It is very story-like, this book, so you could keep the gases coming through as a pattern. and maybe colour the wings like butterflies, like the monarch butterfly, maybe colour it with some oranges so he stands out against the gases. All right, these guys are sky temples. Beautiful temples fused on the backs of gigantic armour-plated sky mollusks. Okay, and they're just drifting in the atmosphere here. They are used for mysterious rituals performed by all-knowing alien species. Sounds very mystical. So, you could colour these guys like sea creatures, like the colours of a prawn, I guess, or colour them with multi-colour gradients really vibrantly. So think of how Rita Berman, how she colours her own work, and you could incorporate those sort of multicolours. You know, she puts blues and purples with reds and yellows, and her work's beautifully coloured. You could use those sort of colour schemes for this page here. Please excuse my voice, guys. I think I'm losing it. Okay, so next we have, oh, these are two separate pages. So we've got this guy here. He is called the Royal Protector, and he patrols the skies above the royal castle. He has a strong tail that can lock invaders out. So there, is that our spaceship, perhaps, coming across? And I'm assuming this is our royal castle. That's probably part of it as well. So I'd probably use golds and maybe blue for the royal castle, and then possibly some purples for the creature here as well. Now, this is called Alien Throne. The planet's ruler, resplendent in its finery, spends its life ensconced in the royal palace found deep within the inner part of this gas planet's thick atmosphere. Here it is shown on its elaborate throne, from which it issues its commands. So, he looks like he's actually plotting the universe's demise. Now, I'm trying to work out here where it ends and the throne begins. So, you can kind of see, I wonder if this is just part of the top of his head, or if that's the throne. So I don't know if, I don't know. Now, okay, you can see it as maybe these little feathery looking things on the top of his head, or the top of his headdress, and that's the throne. Or you can have that as the top of the headdress, and all this stuff here as the throne. Because you can see, so you can see his shoulders, his arms, his body, and it gets to here and I get confused. Like, does his body come down here like this? Or is body coming out like here, and these little things are like little wings, part of his body, and down there? This one might be a tricky one to colour. And I'm not quite sure if these bits here are part of the royal palace, because they look very similar to this, or if they're part of his throne. I think you'd have to contrast these colours so you can differentiate between the two items a bit more easily, what's alien and what's a throne. Okay, we are now entering the water realm. Do we have a spaceship in here? No, we don't. Nope. Okay, so this aquatic realm is 3 times the size of Earth. It is entirely covered in roiling oceans and turbulent seas. 4 sets of rings comprised of ice crystals, gas clouds, rocks and dust orbit the planet, along with watery moonlets that serve as defense posts. Okay. So guys, get your blue pencils ready. Get your backups prepared for this one, I think. This page could be completely monochromatic with all different shades of blues, lots of white gel pen, maybe some blue glitter as well. This reminds me of a giant whirlpool. So this one here is the Oceanic Leviathan. So once the spacecraft has descended through the atmosphere, it is greeted, and here's our spacecraft here, it is greeted by a Leviathan from the deep. This enormous oceanic alien is flanked by opportunistic scavengers that glide in the salt air. These guys here. So this is the one I decided to colour first, and I decided to make him like an alien whale where he's sort of half jumping out of the water. And I think this shadowy area here was his tail under there. So that's why I've coloured it green to be part of his tail. Now I had to really squish the spine down in the centre to get in there to colour. Now I did that just by using my thumbs like this. It is pretty easy to do with the UK versions, and I've never had them fall apart. I would think twice about doing it in the US version, however, as they are just glue bound and you don't want your pages to start to fall out. So I've used Prismacolors mostly on this page. There's a white acrylic paint, white gel pen, gold metallic gel pens as well. Some of you may have noticed as I'm flipping the pages that the paper is a bit different. It is a lot thinner than usual. Let me grab one of Kerby's other books. What have I got here? This is my spare Mythic World. I'll show you here. You can hear the paper is thick, almost like cardstock. And then here, I don't know if you can hear the difference, or you can even see the difference. Listen to that twang in this one. Yeah, it's just really so much thinner than usual. Now my Prismas did work the same as always on here, but if you're going to use water mediums, I would say to test it in the back of the book first. Now I do have the new book from Melpomene Chatsapanagott to Enchanted Earth. Same publisher, usually same paper, and I've noticed that her new book is also this thinner paper as well. And I have coloured a page in that one too. That review will be coming soon, as well as the colour along. I did use, what did I use? I used my Neo colours on that one, and it did take, did it take well? I don't know if I'd say it took, look, the Neo colours did work well, but not as well as it has in the previous books from Melpomene. I do tend to use a lot of water, and I did notice that the page was sort of buckling, and not buckling, it was sort of like tearing up a little bit from too many layers of water. So just be mindful of that if you're using water in this book. I would test it in the back first, because I do have a feeling the paper is the same in both of the new books. And I have no idea why they decided to use different paper, and I'm not really happy about it, to be honest. So the real test will be if when I try to use my black Posca for a background in here, or I will test out the Neo colours too on a page as well, to see how they go. Yeah, so the paper is the one big drawback. I don't know why they changed it on the last book of all books. I mean, there could be millions of reasons why it was changed, but I just wish they'd just kept it the same just for this book. So the whole series was using the same type of paper. Okay, so next. I love this guy. He's so cute. Where are we? Page 28. So this page is called Aquatic Patrols. So we have marine creatures patrolling the seas in high-tech hover vessels, which they control with their own nervous system. That sounds really creepy and weird. Okay, so I think, once again, I'll be using a lot of blues in this page. Blues for the water, maybe greens for him, and some purples or some oranges scattered around. Maybe even used for the sky. Now this one here looks a little bit familiar. What are we? Page 29. Whirlpool to the Deep Gigantic pillars of bone from ancient marine colossi mark the entrance to a magnificent underwater colony. Okay, turning seas rotate at dizzying speeds. Okay, now, does this look familiar to anyone else? To me, it looks a bit like the Charybdis from Mythic World. So, okay, I'm going to need to bring some colour into this page because there's going to be a lot of blue water. And, I mean, the water doesn't have to be blue. Maybe on this planet it's purple or pink. Who knows? But I'm probably going to colour the water blue. So, bone for the teeth. These little teeth, I'm calling them teeth, these spikes, these pillars. We also have some sea life up here at the top where we can bring some colour through too. But also this sort of algae that's stuck on the spikes, I'd probably colour with some tropical colours just to bring some colour into the page. Does this look like a person to anyone? I can see a arm, some hair. Oh, this is one of these guys. That's one of the little patrol, what were they? Aquatic patrols. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Alright, this guy, page 30, is the Serpent of the Seas. This enormous serpentine sea monster lives in the very deepest ocean trenches, where hydrothermal currents from the volcanic seabed sustain the ecosystem. Okay, so I think I might actually colour the water in shades of red for this page. Be a little bit different. Colour outside the box for once. Or maybe colour it blue still and then use streams of smoke. Make them red. Depends what I'm going to do with the next page actually to match. So actually maybe I'd do just the smoke red with blue water, because then I can bring the blue water here, or like a bluey green, maybe like an aqua type of water or a turquoisey coloured water. And then I'd colour this creepy fella. I'd colour him red to match the streams of water. So let's see what this guy is. Page 31, look at all these eyes. And he's got something in his grasp as well. It kind of looks like a fish with a alligator head. Page 31, Thousand-Toothed Terror. Okay. No creature can survive the death-dealing maw of this thousand-toothed terror. That's a tongue twister and a half. Once grasped by one of the many sentient tentacles, its prey stands no chance. Right. Okay, so we have now hit the futuristic planet. Have we got a spaceship on this page? No, we don't. Okay, so this is actually called the futuristic planet. Highly technologically advanced, artificial planet, home to impressive cities, mechanical aliens and AI-driven life forms. Its ring systems are connected by light beam space tunnels. Oh, okay, so these are all different beams of light perhaps, or coloured as different coloured beams of lights, and maybe reflecting off the sky. It makes me think of night photos from city lights where you see all the multicoloured beams or rays of light from all the city lights. So I'd colour them all in different colours and have the glow reflecting off the sky, the atmosphere. You can tell I'm not used to colouring aliens or sci-fi. So, what have we got now? Scanning the skyline on the planet's inner ring. The skyline is dotted with space scrapers. So colossal spaceships take off and land, hoverbots bustle across the surface, and the planetary core looms on the horizon. So that's our planetary core in the horizon. I'd throw all sorts of colours at this one. There are so many possible reflective surfaces that you can bounce your colours off as well. So anywhere that you can picture as metal or glass, if there's a coloured object nearby, incorporate that into the metal or glass so it's sort of reflecting off it. Okay, we have two separate pages. I thought that was a double page for a second. This is called Planetary Power Cells, and it says millions of power cells are scattered across the planet and its rings, generating energy and maintained and watched over by AI hoverbots. I'm assuming these are your AI hoverbots. You could colour the power cells all one colour or make them all multicoloured. You know what I'm picturing? Like an oil spill where it's dark and shiny but has rainbow reflections throughout it. And this guy that looks like he's looking on, what is he? Okay, he is a AI soldier, and they are accompanied at all times by AI powered drones. So I use lots of metallics and with the background, try to make it more interesting, add a lot of colour into the background, bounce the colour off the metals of his suit. It kind of has like a little bird-like face. Yeah. Okay, so another one where we could use lots of metallics again. I try to bring in some colour through to the armour, maybe give him a rusty, dishevelled look. And what is he? He is a four-legged fury, a mechanical guard dog. Okay. Now, page 39 is Sky City. Futuristic cities are scattered across the inner planet. Some have towers that reach up into the atmosphere. Others have spaceports that reach out towards the stars. So this page here reminds me of the open book, the galaxy page from Worlds Within Worlds. Okay, now we are in the Rocky Barren section. And this is the Rocky Barrens. Sometimes the universe throws up planets that seem impossible. The planet is surrounded by pillar-shaped asteroids, suspended by a giant nebula, buffeted by gas clouds, and jostled by space debris. Okay, so I'd add my colour into the gas clouds. Keep the rest neutral. Is anyone else seen cheetah print when they look at these rocks, these asteroids? They've all got them. But yeah, add lots of colour in these gases. We've got all these beautiful little stars that Kerby's already added for us. Okay, look at these creatures. What have we got here? Okay, this is actually a double page. And these guys are called rock movers. Okay, that's a side view, profile view, and that's more of a front-on view of their face. I thought they were two separate creatures at first. And that's his back there. That cheetah print rock, cheetah print rocks again. Same as this guy. These weird alien snails. The surface of this planet is dry and bare. Most alien species live well below. However, the snail-like rock movers can eke out a living above ground. They weave in and out of giant thermal pillars that channel energy to the cities below. I think I'd make the giant pillars perhaps a reddish brown or even just red, and maybe have them glowing as well so the light is reflecting off the ground, the sky, the creatures. Look at him, he's hiding. Okay, this one is called Ferocious Flowers. Some aliens look like innocent flora, but are actually deadly predators. So, I think I colour this page in, well, I colour the flower, the sort of alien-like flower, in reds, oranges, yellows, nice bright colours. Are these, oh, that creature's caught. He's got that guy. I thought maybe this one was one of those creatures from the beginning, but it's not. It's got different sort of head and back to it. And this guy is called a battle-scarred colossus. Creatures on the surface must be hardy to survive. and none are as tough as this epic monster. Solid ball of rock on his tail. Okay, so I think I would colour him. I think I'd use greens and browns for him, make him look like a tortoise because he looks like a tortoise. And I'd probably make the stone, this little stone ball black, I think. Okay, so this page here is called Going Underground. Planet's most advanced civilization has developed underground, intricate cities gouged out of rock, supplied by insect-like spaceships. Here's your insect-like spaceships. And I think I'd try to make the insect spaceships glow off the rocks behind it. So you could have sort of grey colours for the rocks or brown colours, and then have like a yellow, green, blue, red, any of those type of colours glowing off the insects. Or you could even have like, whatever colour you colour the insect spaceship with, have it glow off the background, reflect off the background. Now this page is called the Underground Incubator. Just below the surface, an oversized insect-like alien guards her eggs. Oh, there's quite a few eggs there, isn't there? So I think I'd use 2 different colours on her, and these little scales on her back, I'd colour the same colours as all these eggs, just to bring the colours through to make it match. Okay, next we have made it to the Heavenly Inferno, or we're flying into it now. Here's our little spaceship here. And this is called the Heavenly Inferno double page. This planet has strayed too close to its parent star. Once fertile and lush, it is now a raging hellfire. Lava flows, volcanic activity, poisonous skies, scorching temperatures. Sounds like a lovely place to be, doesn't it? So I'm going to go with reds, oranges and yellows everywhere. Some golds for our spaceship, I think. Okay. Got a double page here. Lakes of fire. The surface of the planet is pockmarked. Okay. That'll be our pockmarks, maybe. Oh no, pockmarked with, I should keep reading, Karen. Pockmarked with lava spewing geysers. Here's your little pockmarks here. Oh, and there's more over here. So little volcanic eruptions. And the planet's disintegrating moon hangs in the sky. So this is a little bit depressing, isn't it? Lots of dark colours such as reds and blacks, I think. You could brighten it up with some oranges, some yellows. For the moon, I'd colour silver, and I'd add lots of silvery sparkle through the sky where it's all breaking up as well. Okay. So this is our lava worm. It lurks in the depth of the magma caverns. Tentacles protrude from its hellish mouth, which is studded with a ring of jagged fangs. Okay, so the lake I'd colour possibly red with him in oranges and yellows, so he blends in with the little magma cavern here. Or colour him in green so he stands out a bit more. These look like the little baby creatures from the previous pages. There's quite a few of them flying around there. So if you did that red and then him in green, I'd make these maybe blue, possibly, depending on what colour we coloured them previously and if you want to match them. Okay, so I love this page. Him running away, hiding. He was hiding earlier, now he's on the run from the volcanic beast. The reek of sulphur radiates off this volcanic beast. Its huge rocky arms belch out clouds of fiery lava and toxic gases. Okay. Again, probably lots of reds to colour him, maybe even some deep pinks. And I think I make the astronaut gold again. I think I'd probably make him gold all the way throughout. This page here reminds me of the It's Papalotl page from Mythic World. I think I'd colour her from a gradient of blue to red like a hot flame. If these are flames down the bottom here. 54. She is the flame bug. This tiny insect packs a serious punch. Its entire body emits fire, feeds on the remains of dead creatures. Ew. Okay. This guy is Meteor Mythology. This legendary alien only appears during meteor showers. It has a flaming mane of fire, powerful claws, and fire blades on its forelegs. Oh, I think they're the fire blades there. So maybe fiery mane of reds, bring the colour down through the body into maybe blues and greens for the rest of his body. And we have made it to the Crystal Kingdom. We are flying in here amongst the rings. So at the centre of an intergalactic tunnel of glittering cosmic geodes, a crystal planet glows like a sun. The Crystal Kingdom is a bright jewel in the blackness of space. Okay, so colour the background all black because it is the blackness of space. With the crystals, you could colour them all one colour. Colour each ring a different jewel colour, or use maybe 2 to 3 different combinations of jewel colours and scatter them all the way throughout. Another double page here. This is called a glittering landscape. Planets and trees that form this crystal world's landscape are covered in precious jewels. Shimmering aliens appear in both animal and mineral forms, and they meander through gemstone-strewn canyons complete with giant crystal pillars and glittering rock formations. Oh, okay, so I think I just throw all sorts of colours at this page. Lots of different colour jewels and crystals. There's our little astronaut. He looks like he's got one predator in front of him and one predator coming to his back. Okay, so as soon as I see this page, I'm picturing a rainbow, a pastel rainbow of crystals all over him. He is, or it is, the jeweled creature, 6-legged herbivore, treading across the jeweled ground. The colourful jewels on its back is to attract mates, and the number of crystals on its body denotes how old he is, or it is. So like I said, I'm picturing lots of rainbow crystals. This looks like a massive toadstool behind it. Okay, so page 61, we have World's Explorer. Insects with wings patterned like stained glass and jeweled abdomens that glow at night. Okay, so these butterfly wings are going to be fun to colour, and I would try to get the stained glass effect on them, and the butterfly bottoms, or the butterfly abdomens as Kerby calls them, they are crystals, jeweled abdomens that glow at night. So to me, they have crystal bottoms. So you could make this a day scene, or you could do a night scene and make the little crystal bottoms a glowy light source. Okay, this one could be an interesting test or challenge of translucency. So he is Crystal Hibernation. Mysterious flying creatures spend this world's harsh winters hibernating. When the year's first cool winds begin to blow, they expel a special gas which hardens and turns to crystals. In spring, they stretch their wings and they break free. So you can make the crystals all one colour and have the aliens inside all different colours, a bit like they're frozen inside ice, or you could make the crystals a similar tone to each alien. So bring one of the alien colours through. For example, if you want to colour him orange, you could bring an orange yellow shade through to the crystal, and then you could colour them all in different colours. This one here is giving me very Worlds Within Worlds vibe, with the castle growing out of the creature's back. He looks a little bit like a rhino, actually. He is... Creeping Castles is the name of the page. A lumbering beast that can live for millions of years provides a home for this planet's civilization. The majority of the population lives in the majestic cities carved into the beast's gigantic crystal shell. Okay, so we can colour him all crystal-like. We even have crystals on our little planet in the background too, and these dragon-like aliens as well. I can't wait to see everyone's different depictions of the illustrations. Imaginations are going to be running wild with this book. And now we are at the Frozen Wastes section. So... the frozen wastes, glittering like an icy gemstone in a far-off galaxy, this frosty, snow-covered planet is a truly freezing world, blanketed in snow and ice all year round and accompanied by a frozen moon orbiting high above the colourful aurora that dances in its skies. And that's our little aurora here. Here's our little spaceship. We're about to land. I think this one... and colour it in lots of cool blues, lots of whites, maybe even add a touch of pink or purple or cream for the snow. And the sky could be as colourful as you wish, and then maybe reflect the colours from the sky onto the snowy surface of the planets as well. Another cool wintry scene here. We've got our little astronaut. Little footsteps in the snow here as well. It's like Where's Wally, isn't it? It would have been cool if Kerby had hidden him somewhere on each page. Despite my dislike for hidden objects, that one is something I would really enjoy. We have the aurora in the sky, the northern lights. So I'm thinking greens and blues for this whole page. Maybe greens for the aliens, and maybe some purple and yellow colours for the buildings. This one is called Alien Oddities. Strange beasts have evolved to cope with this planet's freezing temperatures. Burrowing snow creatures, crevice-dwelling oddities, and winged monsters. Okay, this one here is called the Snow Surfing Colossi. Graceful and powerful bodies propelling them through snowdrifts that helps them leap into the air. These majestic alien creatures resemble Earth's whales and dolphins. Okay, maybe some deep dark blues and greys. Now that is a very traditional way of looking at this page. I mean, you could colour the water purple, the whales rainbow. This book can really bring out your inner child. If you struggle with having to colour things true to colour, which is something I have a tendency to do. I mean, if there is a tree trunk on my page, it's going to be some shade of brown or grey. So if that's something you do as well, this could be a fun challenge to think outside the box as well. You could even use a random colour generator on your pages too. We have the Aurora Borealis, or just the Aurora in this case. I actually picture this sky in pinks with the pink reflecting off the snow and our little alien creature here in some rich ochre browns. This page is called The Ice Hunters. So, 4-armed hunter. Oh, yeah. 4 arms he's got. The 4-armed hunter travels on the back of the fastest land animal in the frozen wastes. Okay. This one here is called Cold Beauty. This intelligent being's face resembles a lion crossed with a giant insect. Actually, I can see that. I can see the lion face and then these insect features. It wears ice crystal jewelry on its head and precious frozen gems on its neck. A cape made from a snowbird's feathers is worn draped around its shoulders, indicating its nobility. Okay, so I think I'd use reds and blues like fire and ice. So the jewels and the eyes have a nice vibrant red. And then the feathers and the crystals in blue, I think. So these cute little furry creatures, they look kind of like a mix between a sloth and a pig. Page 71, they're called friendly faces. These furry cave-dwelling creatures live peacefully. They eat fruit, nuts and seeds found in shady places. Their dense coats keep them well protected from the cold. So I think I'd colour them in warm browns. For the cave, I'm kind of thinking blues for an icy cave, because we are in the frozen realm, aren't we? Is that what it was called? But part of me is leaning towards a red dusty cave, even though it is meant to be snowing. These plants down here, they make me think of the desert. Okay, we made it to Steampunk Sphere. Lots of metals on this page with the steampunk theme. There's quite a bit of metal throughout the book, and I think to keep it interesting, I'm going to need to use lots of different metals like gold, silver, copper, rose gold, titanium. Otherwise, I personally find steampunk a little boring. I will be doing a spotlight series on metals when I get some free time, so that might be helpful. For the background, I'd probably add in lots of colours like purples and blues and pinks, I think. And so what does it say? This colossal planetary megastructure is home to a highly advanced civilization. It is protected by several defensive security rings. It's one of those spaceships ours. Oh, yeah, that's us. Told you it's like, where's Wally? Okay. Oh, I love this page so much. I absolutely adore this double page. It'll probably take a month to colour, but it is just spectacular. It'd be well worth it in the end. And it actually reminds me of the Underwater World double pages from Mythomorphia, except the opposite. It's a space version. With this sort of dome ceiling that Kerby has created, you could colour it all in metallics, or you could treat these little shapes as windows with a galaxy sky on the outside peeking through. I'd add in lots of jewel colours through the rest of the page, lots of reds, yellows, greens and blues to bring in lots of colour. So it says, the gigantic dome is full of enormous floating cities, each with a different galactic origin, culture and leadership. This one is called Alien Gladiators. One of the most popular attractions in the steampunk sphere is the Colosseum, where strongest creatures from across the cosmos fight with each other. Okay, so I think I'd make this ground quite sandy. This weird octopus type of alien I'd colour green. And you've got all these little critters here watching through the windows. I think I'd black them out and make the sky behind them and up here quite colourful. Okay. This page here reminds me of, I think it's the last page in Worlds Within Worlds with all the little cogs. You can see on this page that the illustration is drawing your attention into the centre where the astronaut is standing here. So I would create a circular background that is darker on the outside and becomes lighter as it gets closer to the astronaut to create a bit of depth to the page, or add a little bit more to follow the eye line. So this is called the Timekeeper, sentient mechanical creature that lives in the centre of the world. This being holds the answers to many questions, but never tells. Okay, again, a lot of mechanical metal elements. So I'd use lots of different types of metals, lots of different types of mediums, metallic pens, metallic paint, gel pen, just adding lots of things to make it a little bit more interesting. I'd also add in lots of deep, rich colours of purples and blues. Just make sure, again, that you test your mediums out in the back of the book first before you use them on the page. So this one is our solar airship. The planet is open to anyone in the galaxy, including traders, travellers and tourists. Vast airships ferry them around the interior with wind and steam power. Now, I just love this little futuristic computer in the sky. I'm sure there's probably an actual word for that. You can probably tell by now that science fiction is not an interest of mine. Mythology and nature, yes. Aliens, not so much, which is why this book has been such a pleasant surprise. I mean, I should have known Kerby would create something awesome, but I like it even more than what I expected to. It's like a steampunk treasure hunt on this page, and our alien has a home, perhaps, or a city on his back. Let's find out. Page 79. Okay, this page is called Trading Treasures. It's a galactic meeting point and trading hub. This vast collection must be regularly catalogued and sorted. Rare antiques, weaponry, trinkets, etc. Doesn't say anything about his little house on his back. Okay, we've made it to the Desolate Ruin. I think is our last section of the book, and this is actually my favourite section of this book as well. I thought the Water Realm might be my favourite, but I really, really like this section. So this is pages 80 and 81. The Desolate Ruin. Not all civilizations stand the test of time. This planet was destroyed when a giant asteroid slammed into its northern hemisphere. I'm guessing that is that there. Millions of years after the devastation, new life forms have begun to emerge, making their homes among the ruins, and we're flying over to it now. Not sure if it's meant to be like an alternate universe version of planet Earth, but I do like the rings around the planet, and I'd love to add some glitter or some star or some shimmer to them. A little bit of shine. Now, these pages are fantastic. I've seen a few comments on my flip through about this book being quite daunting, and I do get it, because just look at all these details. I might actually do a video talking through how to break down and colour a Kerby page. If that's something you're interested in, let me know down below in the comments, and also let me know what page. This might be a good page to use as an example. So with this page, I'd probably colour the tree trunk first, then the robot. There's his little legs and his feet. Then the robot, this snake alien that's wound itself around his leg, and then the ground, and then these stone elements over here. Then what you have left will mostly be plants, and then it's easier to see where they begin, where they end, what you've got left once you colour all those big elements first. So, this planet's surface is now teeming with life. New plant series and alien animals abound. Giant mechanical beings from the previous civilization have ossified and now provide cover for new ecosystems. I adore this page. I think this is my very, very favourite page in the book. Although that's another favourite too. I can't decide, but it is one of my very favourite pages in this book. And I want to colour it really tropical, very vibrant, colourful, bright. It is also the full version of the cover image there. But it just looks fantastic. What is it? Perfect Predator. Page 84. A gigantic insect-like alien. Kind of looks like a bit of a spider, doesn't it? It lurks in the remains of a long-since abandoned temple complex. Tendril-like tentacles are used to propel it forward to ensnare its prey. Normally eats smaller aliens, but will eat anything that crosses its path. And right now, it's going for our little astronaut. So this fantastic page over here, I love the above and below water sections. It's a bit like the flamingos in Worlds Within Worlds. I would use a split complementary colour palette. So one set of complementary colours under the water and another one above the water on this page. This is the Submerged Sea City, a deep sea city once flourished among the myriad ocean-going aliens. that fill this planet's waters, now just a rusting ruin. Oh, that's no good. It looks like it's full of life. This city still plays host to a wide variety of life. They have to be hardy to survive. Seas polluted with radioactive material long ago. Ooh, seas polluted with radioactive material. That shouldn't make me as excited as it does, but I'm just thinking of all the really cool colours you could use for the radioactive sea life. And I'm just thinking I have a glow-in-the-dark paint. It goes on clear, but it glows in the dark. That might be fun to use on this page. All right, 86. I love this page too, and it reminds me of the Jackalope page from Mythomorphia, and I think I'd colour it in a similar palette to the one I used for the Ascafroa in Mythic World. So like an overgrown, lost city forest type. Lots of greens, lots of rich dark greens. Either that or colour it with the spring palette. And 86. This page is called Lurking in Its Lair. Ancient loading docks for spacecraft are now home to some of this planet's most dangerous animals. This alien has a two-pronged horn that it uses in battle. So we have a creepy headless creature, but I still really like this page. And I picture this coloured like a really colourful forest. So obviously he's a remnant of when the life form was previously on the planet. And now it's just his sort of skull here and his helmet and all this flora and fauna growing around him. So this is called End of Worlds. And it says, even the most intelligent creatures have to face their doom in the end. The skull of this alien, encased in a cracked visor and surrounded by weeds, is one of the few physical remains left of his species. Only its precious jewels have withstood the passage of time. Oh, these must be his precious jewels. Alright, so that is the end of our colouring section. We do have another partial illustration here, which is from the Worlds Explorer page earlier in the book. And now we have our astronaut's log, which describes each of the illustrations, which I have been giving you a little bit of that information as we go along. So that, guys, is Alien Worlds. Now that you've seen a more in-depth flip through of the book, I'd be really interested in hearing your thoughts. Let me know in the comments. From the comments on the flip through, opinions seem to be quite divisive. People either love it or it's either a hard no for them. Personally, I love it. I'm not someone who would ever have chosen to colour aliens, and I probably will never purchase a book about aliens, ever, unless Kerby decides to do another alien book in the future. But Kerby's style is just so unique, and I love the twist he puts on any subject. His imagination is just crazy good, and I never would have pictured an alien book looking as fantastic as this does. But I do have a question for you guys, and I'm going to say when, because we love to be positive around here, but when Kerby returns to illustrating colouring books, what theme would you like his next book to be about? I've been sitting here ruminating, trying to think of a good subject matter, something different for him to do, or that I would like to see him do, but I can't really think of anything at the moment. You know, he's finished the Morpheus series, he's potentially finished his World series, so what could be next? What would you like to see next? Also, before I go, I do have a community project that I'm going to be announcing in another video, maybe later in the month. So keep an eye out for that. I have recruited Ness, the lovely Vanessa from Happiness Colours Kerby, to help me facilitate the project, as it's going to be a big job, I think, and she is probably just as obsessed with Kerby as I am. I'll tag her channel down below. If you haven't seen her channel before, go check it out. Ness is an absolute sweetheart. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. If you did like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you again in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.